So first, thank you all for being here. I know it's the middle of the workday. And just so we're all in the right place, we're here to celebrate this guy, Paul, right? Is that right? So my name's Luke Bernard. I'm actually only the second executive director of NFI North in over 30 years. So again, thank you all for coming. Today really is all about Paul and the impact he's had on so many lives over the years. We have people from all over New Hampshire in our main programs. We have partners from the state, longtime friends, our board member. Thank you, Ashley. And today really is about showing our appreciation. And this is just a big thank you event. Most of you know, Paul has moved on to the president and CEO role of North American Family Institute. So just a little bit of planning for today. So we have some gifts we want to give Paul that symbolize his role here and the role he's had in many of our career development over the year. Then we're going to eat. We will feed you guys. So we figure we should do that. Then we're going to have some time, very informally, to share some Paulisms and some stories and anecdotes through the years. I know. We're going to keep the mic away from Jan. She's in the back. But really, Paul, this is about you. This is just our gratitude. We all want to say thanks. So we appreciate your leadership through all the years. There are cards on your table. So everyone, please take the next hour and a half to write a little story. Congratulations. There's a box as you leave to put them in. And if you haven't done so yet, please sign the frame when you walk in the door. That's a couple years ago was our our North American NFI North conference up in Attitash, and it's a really good picture. It was a great time. So I'm not going to keep speaking because we do have some gifts to get through. But I will invite the ad team members up first.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is I'm the CFO, and I've had the privilege of working for Paul for 8 years. I should say with Paul, because that's the kind of leader he is. And I'm going to speak today on behalf of the ad team. You all know Paul is a very dynamic, energetic leader, and he has led this organization for so long in a way that we're all pretty much in awe of. And part of Paul's journey with us is all about the team, and there is no I in team, it's all about the we. And he definitely always practiced that with us. We would have retreats every year, we still do, where we would go and work on our teamwork as ad team and making sure that we were working as effectively as possible together and for the organization. And during one of those retreats, we had an opportunity to sort of delve deeper into what we each were on a good day and a bad day, and what we needed from each other. And Paul talked about how he felt on a bad day, was being sort of alone on the ledge. And on his good days, he would have support, and it was in the form of Sherpas climbing up a mountain. And the importance of having us as a team and us as a greater team to be there for each other. So we have a gift for you, Paul, to represent. You gotta come up.
Wow. Oh, you want me to have scissors?
Yeah.
That
Sure.
has to get it. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Can you just have the special scissors?
Whoa. More scissors, please.
So this is just a representation from us of all the support you've given us over the years, and and the support that we've hopefully given you.
This is beautiful. How many do I have?
Well, if you-
You don't have to clean up the mess. You want the bag? Shall I sit down?
You might as well stay. But I do want to invite our New Hampshire team up here. So, we have a big group here. So we had to we almost have to divide it for all the presidents. So the New Hampshire folks got together, and this includes our office. So this is from the New Hampshire team. Yeah.
If the directors want to come stand, you can. All right, so behind Jean, you'll see a set of oars. So for anybody that doesn't know, Paul and his wife have a summer home in Maine. It's called the Cottage. So these oars will be something hopefully you can use at the cottage, but I have a small write-up that kind of goes along with it. So for over 32 years, Paul, your steady hands and keen sense of navigation have steered that boat that is NFI North. In honor of this service, New Hampshire presents you with this set of oars. As our captain and leader, you have served us and those we support with the strength of a mariner, carefully watching the weather for squalls and storms, but knowing when the night's red sky promised a tomorrow that made risks worth taking. You knew when to let the other hand on deck lead, and when a strong sense of direction and commitment needed to be modeled. In much the same way a good sailor knows when oars should be rowing hard and equally in one direction, and when an oar needs to temporarily become an instrument to steer or slow. We have chosen 2 oars to represent 2 elements of leadership. The first oar to symbolize the people upon whom NFI depends, and the second oar to symbolize the outcomes and results you always kept in sight and pointed us towards. Rowing, steering, knowing when to pull together and when to pull more strongly on the starboard side are simple in design, but far from easy. Unexpected barriers arise, winds, rapids, rocky shores, and rough skies. You have taught us to watch for the barriers, but not fear pushing forward into the next beautiful sunrise and beyond. New Hampshire leaves you with the gift of these 2 oars as a reminder of the challenging waters you have led us through, the belief you instilled in the normative charts of navigation, and the sense that while we must respect the nature of water, we need not fear it. Thanks to your leadership, Paul, the New Hampshire vessel will continue to forge on, positively impacting the lives of thousands each and every day. A true testament to the mission you have instilled in all of us. We are so happy for you to fiercely lead the larger organization forward, and so blessed that in this truly see you later, bon voyage, and not goodbye. So you may not want to touch the oars because they're just they're laying up against it because they're, so you may not want to carry them back. But we do also have some sea glass attached, and we have
So beautiful.
air frames so you can.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right, now can we invite our main partners up here?
As a state of Maine.
That is the state of Maine.
So all of you know Paul has led NFI North, and he now leads NAFI. And I'm sure almost all of you know that Paul also leads a very talented blues band. also an established author, a great writer, but we're going to put that one aside for the purposes of this presentation. As you are all aware, Paul is not only a leader of an repeating myself. Paul is not only the leader of an organization, but also the leader of a blues band and a talented musician. For the purposes of this presentation, I'd like to highlight the common attributes of both roles. Both band leaders and organizational leaders embody principles such as inspiration, vision, commitment, communication skills, transparency, adaptability, decision-making, discipline, collaboration, and shared leadership. All of these attributes are foundational for success in their respective domains. A band leader, much like an organization leader, inspires their members to strive for excellence, setting a clear vision for the group's artistic direction. Their commitment to this vision is demonstrated in their unwavering dedication to practice and performance. Right? It takes a lot of practice. Paralleling the organizational leaders' dedication to their company's objectives. Effective communication is crucial, as both leaders must articulate their ideas and expectations clearly to foster a cohesive environment. Transparency builds trust among the fellow musicians and/or employees, ensuring that all members are aligned with the group's goals. Adaptability allows both organization and band leaders to navigate challenges and seize opportunities, while strong decision-making skills guide their group through uncertainty. Discipline in practice and in principle underpins their pursuit of excellence. Last but perhaps most importantly, collaboration and shared leadership emphasize the importance of every member's contribution, recognizing that collective effort is a key to achieving outstanding results in music and in providing quality services to people. Paul, your inspiration and guidance has been unwavering throughout the years leading NFI North. As such, the main leadership team on behalf of the entire organization would like to present you with this gift in representation of all you have done for us. Congratulations on your promotion.
You can touch that.
No, I was sitting in the car combing my hair, before the start, and I saw Craig come in with this.
Right, right.
I thought, Kurt, I thought maybe we could have another band member. I never thought this was for me. Whoa. I'll be out back. Thank you guys. Thank
Yeah,
you
that's
so
why it was
much.
car.
Beautiful.
So Paul, those are just a few tokens of your team's appreciation for all the leadership throughout the years. Our time was actually really good because they told me lunch was going to be ready a little bit early. So we have a few minutes, but I think we can go ahead and break and go get in line. I'm sorry there's 100 of us to get through, but enjoy yourselves. Be sure to come pester Paul a little bit during lunch, and then we'll all come back together and share some stories.
May not hold us anymore. So, thank you, Paul, for your leadership. And I can't think of anybody better to be YITSAC 2.0 than Paul.
We couldn't afford a full sandwich.
So I'm not going to get up between each one. I think either start a line or as you feel the urge to speak, please make your way up front. Because otherwise I'll be up and down.
Get your steps. Oh, there we go.
So I joined the agency, it was 1997, so it's been a little while now, and I went to my first NFI North conference. It was when we were at the summer camp. I think Paul got short-sheeted that year. And at we had the agency talent show, and Paul was there playing the blues, and I remember like, oh, this is great, I love all these songs, and approached Paul and said, you know, I'm a drummer, and I think from that point, I've been playing with Paul in the blues band, and not only for the agency, but throughout Maine and New Hampshire. Scott did a great job talking about, you know, Paul's leadership skills, not only as a musician, but also as, you know, an executive. But I have a funny story, though, about that, because it's kind of an inside joke or an inside secret, but Paul, on occasion, is known to...
I said not anymore.
Paul has been known on occasion to, you know, call out a song to the band, you know, look at all of us and be like, you know, 5 long years. And then we go to start, he's playing something completely different. And we have this moment of, oh no, like maybe that moment of that Paul, you know, talks about being alone on the ledge. We're all like, what's going on here? But Paul, thank you so much for all your leadership over all these years. I really sincerely hope that you will still come to our conferences and as the house band, and that we can continue that tradition. So thank you very much.
Apparently you get a hug if you speak. Well, you don't have to have it.
All right, who's next? I know we can hear next door.
Jan is legendary, by the way.
Very old.
So I don't know if I have funny stories, but I want to let you know a few things is before Paul and Patty, they did eat meat at one time. And many people in this room used to see them eating meat. And then Paul went vegan and he's been sick every day since. Just saying. During COVID, just saying. And then the other thing is, Patty Dann once told me, you know, all this crap you give, this NFI crap you give Paul just goes into the yard sale. So I say when they have the yard sale, go look for the man climbing the hill. I don't know what's going to happen to your guitar, but Patty does not like NFI shit in her house. So my funny story about Paul is this. When you see the big yellow house, is called North Country Shelter. And I was the director up there for about 10 years, and we were putting in a ropes course. And we're at our team, and we're like, a ropes course? And he's like, yes, it's gonna be outdoor adventure, and everybody's gonna love it. Who? And he points to the 4 regional directors when we were agency supervisors then. Remember this, Tara? And he says, and you're all gonna get certified. I said, what? You're all going to climb ropes. And I said, okay. So he comes up that day with somebody from NFI with his chainsaw that he started up in the driveway to walk to the woods because he loved his chainsaw. And all I hear is boom, 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 boom with these trees coming down. Dan Becker comes in, he goes, Paul has his chainsaw. He was my assistant director, and he goes, can I get my chainsaw? I go, no, Dan, you're watching the children today. He goes, no, I'm bringing the children with me. I go, no, you're not. So I go out and I say to Paul, you realize to do a ropes course, we need some trees. And he's like, yeah, you got 4 of them over there. And I go, what? So he was out there all day cutting these trees down, and it was unbelievable. I was bringing water out to them and everything, and he was saying, "Now go away, I got my chainsaw, go away." So I'm like, okay, so we did that, and we did have a ropes course. And then my second story is, Paul remember this. We were gonna lose the Midway shelter. They were gonna move it because the building was sick. I really was sick in a lot of ways. But so we go to a meeting, and Paul had figured out at the state of New Hampshire whether you go into the bad room or the good room to have meetings. Because when they want to tell us nice things, they bring us in this one room. And then when it was bad things, we had to go into this other room. So Paul and I go into this meeting, walking upstairs, he whispers to me, we're in the bad room. I said, oh, this isn't good. And then we go in and we sit down, and they said to us, we found a place for the shelter. It's going to go to this other program. It's going to be on their 3rd floor. Because you have to find another building by Friday. Now, we had just purchased the Bradford property. I mean, a minute before. And he says to the state, we have new property. They go, you do? They weren't happy that we found this property. And they go, you do? And he looks at me and goes, don't we have a new property? I go, he goes, Bradford? I go, yeah, it's new. It's up in Bradford. They go, okay. And this was like May, the end of May. They go, be there by July 1st. Remember that? Paul goes, not a problem. I go, we walk out, I go, are you out of your freaking mind? Do you know how much we have to move in 4 weeks? Jan, no big deal. You'll take care of it. I go, you're out of your mind. He goes, and while you're at it, check the furnace. I think it's out of oil. I know nothing about checking furnaces or oil or anything. I had to pay the accountant to come with me to get some type of freaking oil into this thing. Gas cans, right? Only in non-profits would you be doing this shit, right? Pour oil into the oil tank so that you don't lose heat, right? Hot water. But anyways, those are my stories about Paul. Paul, thank you for a wonderful history. A couple of times walking around the building scared me, you remember we were not doing well financially. Remember Hera, Jill, Shannon here, all those plans we had to put together, how we're gonna save money and stuff. I was just putting stuff on a piece of paper. I didn't even know if it was real. We're gonna save $500 at Midway. How are you going to do that? Don't know. Going to get rid of staff, I guess. But anyways, he would walk around the building during these times, and somebody once told me he used to smoke. I said, well, somebody better bring him a pack of cigarettes. Because I don't see him coming in anytime soon, because he is really, really upset. And, but, you know, when you work for a nonprofit, as long as you do, and folks who don't work for a nonprofit, may not understand this, that it's 24/7, all the time, 12 months a year, on vacation. They go to Bahamas and we're sending packets to them to sign. You know, he'd call back and goes, it doesn't look like a very good packet. I go, Paul, don't you screw with me right now. Sign that packet. Go back on vacation. So, but it's hard. It's hard working for a nonprofit because you're always going, you're always working, you're always thinking of new ways, trying to stay competitive, but at the same time, take care of the participants you got to take care of. And that's one thing Paul always did, was preach taking care of the participants. They come first, and making sure they have what they need, and making sure we run quality, good programs that we can be proud of. So for that, Paul, thank you, and thank you, Patty, for putting up with us all these years.
Come on, you guys, you promised.
It's hard to follow Jan. So. All right,
There's no way anybody can top that. No, I just wanted to say thank you to Paul for giving me personal opportunities. I always feel like that you've always been a champion for me, and you've helped me to learn and grow, and just to take a look around the room and all the lives you've touched. We all wouldn't be here without you and your tenacity and your energy. And really, Patty, I don't know how you put up with that energy. I once joked with Paul that leadership, what he put in his tea because I wanted to order some for myself because you just never seem to stop. And you and your smile and energy is infectious, and thank you for all that you do and all that you've done for us, and we're so very proud to know you and have you as a leader, so thank you.
Bob and Jane is who we know them as, would come to Bridge Crossing for our Thanksgiving celebration, and we lived really close to his parents for a long time, so our kids would maybe at times go to their house and shovel them out, and but they were really special to us, and so I thought it would be a nice opportunity to share that with you today and think about. I remember thinking we used to, you know, save the bones, like we have 9 turkeys, we gotta save the bones.
And they always brought back the best turkey stew. It was amazing. It was just so perfect. And they would come and Jane would read to the kids. And Paul, thank you for having such great parents. And thank you so much for all of your leadership. And we appreciate you. And Patty, we appreciate you for letting us have Paul for all these years.
We'll still see you soon because we'll still be neighbors on the other side of the lake. So hopefully we'll be out on the lake.
Yes, I hope you do both come visit us often when you're at camp, and even though you might be working, you can work from our program just as everybody else. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Dr. Dann. I'm the president at New Hampshire Audubon. And so about 8 years ago when I started my job, the Center for Nonprofits started a leadership roundtable for nonprofit directors. And the roundtable members are sitting over here today. And Paul joined that group, and I just want to share that his leadership spreads way beyond his job, his both recent and now new job, and he has influenced nonprofit leaders and nonprofit business well beyond our state. And I have felt, and I know that my colleagues share this, so honored to be in his presence, to learn from him, and to witness his genuine generosity. And thank you for supporting him, and I would just thank you, Paul, for your leadership that goes well beyond your profession and your job title. And again, we've all really benefited from your leadership and example. Thank you.
Paul, everybody here has been talking about your leadership and everything, and I just want to touch on your personal side of things. It doesn't matter how high you go, how important you are or anything like that, but you treat each and every individual as an equal. I don't care what time it is. I can remember one time, it was like, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm at North Country Shelter, we got no fuel, and we've got, you know, I'm trying to call Irving Oil, and next thing I know, I got Paul on the phone at 4 o'clock in the morning. He's like, Debbie, they're on their way, you got nothing to worry about, I got your back. So, I mean, no matter what it was and everything and stuff, I mean, you don't have a problem getting your hands dirty, rubbing elbows with anybody at all whatsoever. You treat everybody equally, and as much as he is a leader inside here, outside there, everything else and stuff, boil it right down, you're a person just like the Patty sitting next to you or Ashley on the other side of you, and you always treat everybody with that respect and dignity. And I think that's what we all feel on a regular basis, and that's what we can give to our participants, and we just keep giving, and it comes from you, so thank you.
I'll make it be good.
I think that it amazes me how much energy. I'm Lisa, by the way, a Maynard. I don't like these things. Am I better? Okay. I'm from Maine. I think with your spirit, with your energy, Paul, what often, you know, when we're doing the work we do in mental health, it's some of the hardest of the heart, and we work with some of the hardest of the heart families, people. And we're leading staff and we're leading all sorts of things to sort of get through that. And so I always look at you as the holder of hope, the holder of hard stories, the holder of yuck, and yet you still have this energy and you still have this vigor, and it's just amazing to be part of, because it's easy to get sucked into the vortex of the yuck and the disappointments or the nonprofit, you know, politics of things. So that's been valuable to me, and that's what's kept me grounded. That's what makes me feel like this is one of the best agencies to be a part of. So thank you.
And I just want to say thank you for being a wonderful leader for the last 22 years.
So we've got about 15 minutes left. We're going to give Jill the floor for a minute, and then we'll hand the mic over to Paul. For those of you who didn't want to get up and speak, please use the cards at your table, and then we'll put them in the box on your way out.
Okay. So before, I was pressured, Paul, to write one of my poems. But before I recite the poem, I do want to just say a couple of things that don't rhyme, I guess. I want to say that what a gift you have been in my life. You know, responding to that little tiny ad in the Lewiston, whatever it was, saying that we were starting this new program, and I had no idea, you know, what I was doing and what this journey was going to be. But I remember, and I've told the story before, like after being hired, and it took us over a year to open the program because they found lead paint in the windowsill. You know, everyone knows what that means. I remember the first night, it was a Friday night, we had taken in a couple of participants, and we were so, you know, you guys know that first night when you're opened a new program, we were so excited, and you know, we were cooking dinner and everything was great, and then one of the kids decided to flip out, and he didn't like our new patio furniture that we had just purchased, and he drags it out into the street. At the intermission, you know, Matt's here, he knows exactly where I mean, where the cars are just whipping by and this kid's just throwing the furniture into the street, and I'm like, oh my God.
I don't have any idea what, and so back then, we had landlines, and so I called Paul's number. He lives in Massachusetts, and he said, "Oh, Jill, you're gonna be fine. Good luck." I said, well, that's great. And here I am, 32 years later, because in that day, I believe strongly people let you stand on your own 2 feet, make a lot of mistakes. Paul's been with me as I've made many mistakes, didn't judge me, just stood next to me and helped me get to the next place in my career. And I really appreciate that, because now I think we do a lot of, I try so hard not to be a micromanager, but with these cell phones and everything, you find yourself answering questions for people and not just letting them figure it out on their own. So I really appreciate that from you. I do want to say that my poem has a lot of inside jokes, so I apologize to some of you who won't get any of them. But there are a few pictures up here that I asked to be added in to go along with the poem, one of them being the ropes course trainer, Jan, that we all had to be. So when you get to the picture of the person in the tree, that's me, up in that tree. And that would never happen today. So, and I do want to say the picture of me with the young girl with our ribbons is Paul's daughter, Megan, who's in the poem. So, here we go. Ode to Paul. I took a chance on an interview in 1992 with a guy named Dr Dann, his eyes so blue. Who is NFI? Is it a cult or what? I think it's okay, so I followed my gut. I met Megan, Paul's daughter, who gave me good tips. My dad likes cookies, the ones with chocolate chips. We bonded, we painted, we spruced up the place. NFI Family Day, we won the 3-legged race. A few years later, I had a dream, a program for little ones. How hard could it be? Paul supported this project and said, why stop there? Let's open more programs. It only seems fair. Because we had New Hampshire who was hopping along, so Maine followed suit. We too could be strong. The shelters, staff development, the Davenport Inn, it became a competition, and you know Jill would win. We became ropes course trainers, spider webs and truss balls, jumping off the pamper pole, the 40 feet we had to crawl. Then the explosion, we opened 8 programs in 3 years. We put a lot of sweat, and yes, a few tears. We looked for houses in Bath to replace the children's home, the infamous meeting, the tampons, oh no. Inside joke. We had community meetings to get our neighbors to buy in. That Dr Dann is slick, said the man with a grin. We did it though, with a lot of help along the way. I remember your mom, who just wanted to come play. I'll read books, I'll serve cocoa to the charming little ones. She had no idea that it wasn't gonna be fun. We moved offices again and opened a school, then took on a couple programs by the oceanfront pool. We decided to have conferences with variety shows and the band. Misdiagnosed arrived, and the show, it got canned. I'm sorry, I am. It was all Jan's idea, I think. Then she took my credit card and said, I'm buying drinks. The Empowerment Awards, the Staff Awards, so many stories of success. The cult became stronger. We passed all the tests. The best place to work in New Hampshire and of course Maine. We were growing leaps and bounds. Had we gone insane? And I remember 9/11 like it was yesterday. We were in Waterville Valley, not sure what to do or say. Through all of it, you were our leader, always guiding us through. With your wife Patty beside you, making us a vegan treat or two. Your holiday parties, a tradition, the famous present swap, and avoiding the strawberry picture that nobody wants. We learned birthday songs with a whoop-de-doo on the end. Now that you're gone, we will not sing it again. Sorry. Then came the pandemic and the dreaded COVID plan. Please wear your mask and please wash your hands. And speaking of that, we became accredited by the JC. Holy moly, what a process. I thought, how can this be? The driving, the checklist, the feedback meetings each day. You missed a fire extinguisher and put those paint cans away. 42 years later, and look where we are, serving 1,000 people a day, exceeding our dreams by far. Now you're the president of NFI, and we continue to evolve, keeping the mission alive. There are no words to thank you for all that you've done. If this was a game, you certainly have won. We are here to honor you, the legend, the man. Always remember, we love you, Paul Dann. Is going to wrap it up before you speak. You can stay right here if you want to. Come on, business office. We got one last thing.
I'm only coming up because you said 3 months. Where's the trophy?
We have a lot of shy people in the business office. All right, so this will only take a minute, but I referenced it to my poem. At every birthday, every celebration, Paul makes us do this little song. And today will be the last day. I want you to know, in our last staff meeting, he made us practice over and over, because he said, you can't stop singing the song. But we're stopping. So on the count of 3, one last time, you guys, all right?
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Let's give
Let's give everyone a great big hand. Let's give everyone a great big hand. Wow. You know, it's super hard to think how I can share what's in my heart right now and what I'm feeling in words. You are all amazing. I can't thank you enough for the kind words, the accolades. I mean, largely undeserved. I mean, the reality is that you all have been amazing. That each of you, in your own way, have joined me, and together we've grown this place. You know, do you know that in 1989, when we got our first outreach and tracking contract, we were just serving 12 families and we had 4 employees. Terry, how many employees is North now?
We're nearing 500.
We're nearing 500 employees. Our budget was $200,000 a year. And Christy, if we hit on all cylinders, how big do you think we'll be? 50 million this year. That's not me, that's us. That's all the work that everyone here has done to support the people that we're here to serve. And it's just, to me, it's just amazing. And I have to thank Dr. Bacall and all of the people that have supported me over the years. Each one of you, in your own way, has supported me, just through your kindness and your commitment. And you know, back in 1989, I said to Yitzhak, we should go to New Hampshire and Maine because there's a lot going on. And some people said, no, 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 don't go. We have enough headaches. And Yitzhak said, well, if Paul Dann wants to go, let him go. So he gave me the support for us to go ahead and do that. Now, I did hear a rumor that this applause is going to die today, this famous applause. Do you know that this applause does something special to your neurons? Just look at, even just talking about it, look at each other. Just talking about this, look at smiles on people. Just say the word applause. Your endorphins are being kicked in. So I'm going to ask you all to just practice this with me one time. Because it works. Just once. If we get it right, it's only going to be once. Okay? So the way, I'll give you an example. When you're watching Missy, I want you to make sure you're okay. Don't be, Heidi, you gotta watch. I see you looking at the screen up here. So, I'm going to show you how it goes, and then we're all going to do it together. And then you tell me whether you feel endorphins kicking in. Okay? So it goes like this. And we'll say, let's give well, the big person might be insulting. I don't know. A little person might. I don't know. Let's give them a great big hand. That's somehow I'm going to practice it, and then we'll do it together. So it goes like this. Let's give them a great big hand. Rock, and then you go. And then you go. You'll just be close to this. Even Dietrich's got endorphins. Are you ready? All together. 1, 2, 3. Let's give them a great big hand. All right, now you got to promise me we're going to keep it going. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much. It's been so much to be with you.
That really was the show for today. We wanted to say how much you've impacted us and how much every person here owes you for your guidance and your leadership. And again, we just want to say thank you. And I think this turnout really shows you how many people want the opportunity. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking with Paul about, how do you need to come? And here's when you show up. He goes, don't you think people have moved on? Like, is this enough already? It's like, yeah, I don't think we're quite there. So, anyway, thank you all for coming. Take your time. We don't have to leave the room yet. I know some of us have to get back to work, but thank you all.